Welcome for today's video. So I am Matt Sairi Pidarino Grumo and I'm from BS Ed 2A English. So for today's video, I will be sharing all my thoughts or ideas about the recent racial discrimination or racism that exists here in our country or in our society. But before we start, let us first define what racism is. Okay, so according to my source, racism is described as prejudice, discrimination, and antagonism against other people because of the race or because of the ethnical group where they belong. So that means basically that the racism is a negative judgment towards other people because of their race. So in the year 2020, before 2021, or we say last year, there's a new racism against Chinese that exists because of the outbreak of this very contagious virus that is still rampaging us until now. So that virus is called as coronavirus or the COVID-19. And as far as I can remember, that there is a news that spread widely on the internet which states that the virus mainly came from the China. So since China has Chinese and Chinese live in China, Chinese here in the Philippines are being hated or being looked down by netizens or by other Filipinos, we say, because they are Chinese, because of their race. And that is a concrete example of racism. Okay, so yes, it is true that during that time, in the 2020, China has the most number of COVID-19 patients or coronavirus patients all over the Asia. But that doesn't mean that they already have the virus at all. That doesn't mean that all Chinese or all those people who live in China already have the virus. That is why we should not generalize all the time. So let us keep in our mind that there are still Chinese who lives here or who works here peacefully, but unfortunately they are being hated or they are being judged by other Filipinos because of their race, because they came from the China. And I believe also that many Filipinos from before until now believe that if you're Chinese, then you already have the virus. And I think also that is a very nonsense idea or opinion. So that is why we should not always judge people based on their backgrounds. So since we are Filipinos, we must act as a Filipino. Since they are Chinese, we must always remember that Chinese are still humans. They have emotions. They can feel happiness, they can feel sadness, they can feel scared, and as well as embarrassment. Since we are Filipinos, we should act as a Filipino. So what are Filipinos? Filipinos are known to be ethical. That is why we should be ethical. And I suggest everyone who is watching this to please get rid of this racist behavior if you have one as soon as possible for the betterment of all. So that is all for today's video for my reflection about the racism against the Chinese. So goodbye and thank you.